This is an AT-6 Texan, or as the Navy called it, an SNJ. Its purpose was to train pilots for the Second World War. That means, of course, that this aircraft is over 60 years old. And for those of you who may be wondering, yes, it still flies. This is not an aviation graveyard. This is Condor Squadron, a group of aviation enthusiasts who fly and maintain AT-6s and SNJs. They have 13 aircraft, 10 of which live on site at Van Nuys Airport in Southern California. Some viewers may be familiar with Condor Squadron as they routinely do formation demonstrations or memorial flypasses at air shows across the country. One could say that formation flying is Condor's specialty. And as the squadron's recently elected president, Chris Rushing, told us, it's rare for a Condor member to take to the skies on their own.
We hardly ever go out single ship, which is real fun. Go out and fly with your friends, and flying formation makes it very unique. We usually start with 4, and like I said, we can grow to as many as 13. And it just seems like the more airplanes you get, the louder they get, just the better it all sounds.
And sound it does. Depending on the model, the T6 can pack a 9-cylinder, 600 horsepower radial engine under the cowling. This produces so much power that the tips of the propellers move at nearly supersonic speed, causing mini sonic booms to be heard by observers on the ground. Today, this aircraft serves to remind us of a period in our history we dare not forget. During the war, thousands of T-6s, SNJs, and the British Commonwealth equivalent, Harvards, trained pilots to go off and fight, among other things, Nazis. Chris is hoping that the Condor Squadron can carry on with the AT-6's pedigree, minus the Nazi fight.
These airplanes are fairly expensive, so we understand that not everyone can own an airplane. So we're actually developing a program where young pilots can come with some tailwheel experience and fly a T6. It's an advanced trainer, of course, which they used in the war, so it's not all that difficult. But the main idea is we just don't want to damage the airplane. We don't have a whole flight line full of airplanes like they did, at Luke Air Force Base when they were training during the war. So our main objective is to take care of the airplanes, but I want to continue the legacy, and to do that we've got to have new pilots. So with the old pilots flying with the young pilots, I'm hoping that we can really continue the legacy here.
Now, the main thing that makes a trainer aircraft a trainer is the second seat. This allows for an instructor or student to sit behind the pilot and be able to take control. Or if you're like us, the second seat is a perfect spot to stick a television correspondent or a cameraman.
Arm goes through there.
Curtis will be going up with Condor Squadron member Stu McAfee.
And then Will. I don't even know who is in your back seat. Peter. Oh, Peter. Okay.
Stu will be acting as the lead on this flight, and as such, he's leading the pre-flight briefing.
So we all know what's going on today. We're doing a TV show called The Aviators. I'm going to just talk about the flight. It's going to be a very basic, fast flight. We're going to use a fast profile, all fast signals. This is the lineup. I'm 1, Rick, you're 2, Sparky, you're 3, Chris, you're 4, and Will, you're 5.
So there you have it. 5 T6s will take to the air with Curtis sitting in the rear seat of the lead aircraft.
This fits squarely in the life is good category.
Okay, Condor flight check-in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good, boys. Let's go to ground.
Stu is not always the lead pilot. The Condors rotate this position among their senior members. But whoever the lead is, the other pilots will follow their directions to a T.
Van Nuys ground, Condor 1, flight of 5 at the Condor Squadron with Delta, ready to taxi. Condor 1, Van Nuys ground, runway 16 right, taxi via Alpha. 16 right via Alpha, Condor 1 in flight.
So as you can see, because this airplane sits in conventional gear, which means that the small wheels in the back, it sits nose high on the ground, this dude's actually turning the airplane left and right so you can take alternating views over either side of the nose to see where we're going. It's a real treat to get flying with fun antique airplanes. There's not a lot of places in the world that continue to do this very regularly.
The A in AT-6 stands for Advanced. Pilots didn't come to this aircraft to learn how to fly. Instead, the AT-6 taught pilots to fly better and prepared them for the much larger fighters they would go on to fly over the beaches of the Pacific and the battlefields of Europe. The T-6 shares many of the same features as the larger fighters, such as retractable hydraulic landing gear, a low monowing design, and of course, a powerful radial engine. Once getting to a proper altitude, the Condor form up in an echelon formation. With Stu in the lead, the other aircraft form up to the left and right of him and slightly behind. To accomplish this, the Condor pilots use markings on their fellow aircraft for reference. The resulting formation is as graceful as a Bolshevik ballet, but with the raw power of the Kentucky Derby. As a testament to the control these pilots possess, one aircraft is able to quickly move and form up behind the leader, creating a diamond of steel, fabric, and horsepower. While all of this is impressive and certainly very beautiful to behold, one really does have to step back for a moment and wonder why. What is it that possesses these pilots to go out and fly 60-year-old aircraft in formation? They're certainly not training for war. This is Ray Sparks, or Sparky as he's better known. He's 84 years old and is flying Condor 3 in today's flight. Ray actually served in World War II as an aircraft mechanic for the Navy. He was also a childhood friend of the founder of Condor Squadron, Dick Sykes. He's been around Condor Squadron since the beginning.
Well, Dick had two T-6s because they were not as costly to operate as a P-51. You could buy them dirt cheap as you could buy a P-51. Well, he decided he wanted to get into the Civil Air Patrol business, and we became CAP, Civil Air Patrol, Squadron 135. So we were very active. We were a very effective squadron. We used to compete for searching with the Sheriff's Squadron in California here. They had one chopper. They came into the top people in CAP and said, you know, if we had a couple of more choppers, we could do a much better job than these old trainers. So they got two new choppers and almost cut us out completely, and finally we said, to hell with it.
And that was the end of the Civil Air Patrol days for the Condor Squadron. The group then became the organization it is today. They found air shows and other events to perform at and continue to do so. But the question still remains, in the face of everything, why did Condor Squadron continue?